Hello, Kelsey.
Hello. Of
Ready to have some fun?
course.
Okay, let's do this. I'm excited about this episode. So, if you're running a fee for service dental practice, you already know that marketing is getting harder and harder. It literally is like dodging a minefield. We're going to exactly, we're going to break this down because you don't want to discount your services. You don't want to sound salesy, and you absolutely do not want to compete with the guy down the road doing new patient cleanings for $49. That is just the quick road down, 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 down. That is a no-go. But good news, in today's market, people are very well informed and they're searching for high quality questions that better improve their lives. We see that every single day. So there are absolutely high quality patients out there that are willing to pay to take care of themselves and for their wellness. But the huge caveat is the marketing needs to speak to them. And a lot of times our fee for service offices, they have not done this. They don't know how to do this. And this is kind of the bombs we are going to be dropping today on how we can make you successful at doing this. Kelsey is our Chief Growth Strategist. He's been with us for over a decade. I think we're at 13 plus years now. And we strategize for fee for service offices every single day together. And it excites us to look at what really needs to happen to be able to do this for them. Oh, and if this is your first time here, welcome to Marketly. We're so glad to have you. We help established and multi-location dental practices find their dream high-quality patients through strategic marketing, omnipresent, omnichannel marketing, and systems and automation so you can see all of your metrics and your ROI when you are marketing with us. That's what we do. All right, Kelsey, let's break it down, my friend. Let's break down the strategy that we have seen work again and again for our dental practices to help these sweet souls out there, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to ask you the first question that we have is why is it harder for fee-for-service practices to attract the right patients, and how can marketing actually solve that problem?
That's a very interesting question. And it really boils down to the fact that fee for service practices have to try to attract patients that are outside of insurance driven referrals, right? Other practices that are very insurance heavy, they get those referrals, they're in network, they just have people coming to them.
Yeah.
And now these fee for service practices have maybe a potential patient skepticism, right? The upfront cost of care, they've got to pay for that. And marketing can really address that by emphasizing the value and the quality of the service, educating patients on the benefits of being fee for service, building trust through transparency, having positive patient experience. It really kind of boils down to really 3 points. One, your value proposition, right? Highlight the benefits of being a fee for service, the personalized care, having a wider a range of longer appointment times, evenings, weekends, whatever it might be, and focusing on individual patient needs, not just getting them in and out the door quickly, like a lot of insurance driven practices are.
Right. I love that. I think, too, also in sharing the solutions, the problems that they solve with this individualized care, because there's so many people that come in for second opinions because they haven't been cared for in the past properly, or they have to redo their dentistry, or their dentistry has never been right. So being those experts, that thought leader that's talking about how they're doing it right, using the technology, how they won't have to, it's actually less expensive because they won't have to do it again, right? So I think,
Yeah.
really honing into their expertise there. What do you think?
No, 100%. I was just going to jump in and just say
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that because being a fee for service practice, having that tailored marketing strategy really allows you to be having a patient centric approach, right? You were just talking about that, but being able to focus on the specific needs, the specific concerns that these prospective patients are having. what was their other practice not doing for them? What were they unable to do, right? And then taking all of that education and transparency and then tailoring all the marketing towards that really helps to address the needs.
I love that. And I think one way to set up is when you're introducing yourself to the public and always building up their reputation for this personalized care, for this comprehensive care, even before they, if they have all these insurances or more PPOs or certain ones that they're really wanting to drop, they have to build up their reputation first before they do that. But in building up the reputation and solving these problems, as simple as the introduction of, we have an 8-point, 10-point exam and we're so thorough and it's, and they list it and they're like, oh, I don't think anybody's ever, looked at my bite, or I've never had an oral cancer screening. I've always kind of wanted to do that. So it's a different intrigue that they're doing in the very beginning and introduction for fee-for-service office.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So, Kelsey, we've been doing this for a long time, right? I just mentioned your, 13 years with us. We've been around since 1999. What do you think has changed about patient behavior and buying decisions in just the last couple years?
I would say really since COVID,
Yeah.
how people search has changed. Google is 100% still the powerhouse, but how it's used is different, right? People are not only using Google, they're not only using the one channel. So I think that's going to be a big difference. And also in terms of just buying decisions, or in this case, choosing a dentist that they're going to spend their money with, especially being fee for service. I think that's changed as well because the ease of access to information has never been what it is now, right? I mean, we have so many different ways to research and to look into a dentist, to see their trust, to see their authority on whether or not they are the best implant dentist, whether or not they are the best cosmetic dentist. And I think that has also changed how people are making decisions. Whereas before, it could have just been hey, Shannon, who should I go see as a dentist? I'll go see
Right.
him. But that I think has definitely changed.
Yeah, and I'll speak to that just a little bit, even a little bit more on the emotional side of what COVID did to everybody, or like, because you're looking at the searches and how they're searching wellness and taking care of themselves. But we've definitely seen a big shift in human psyche and being more fragile. So, understanding that they're going to get that individualized care because they're more afraid to go to the dentist, or they're just not sure how to make that decision. So the more that we can, or that doctor can make those decisions so much easier for them because of that, that fragile state, that psyche. And that's where really good communication or really good marketing or really good videos makes a big difference for fee for service, wouldn't you say?
It does. And that's really what's going to set you apart. And it kind of goes into, one of the questions that we're going to look at a little bit later is the main differences in marketing
Yeah, let's go
between,
ahead and get into
insurance
that.
based.
Yeah, let's jump into that. I think that's awesome. So what's the biggest difference between marketing a fee for service office versus an insurance based office that we've seen?
It really, for me, it changes just the type of dentistry. And that's what you're saying, that, the content, right? Going into setting yourself apart as being different. When I look at fee for service versus insurance driven, their focus is completely different, right? So for fee for
Mm,
service, they're focused on high quality dentistry, personalized care, modern technology, the patient testimonials. Those all start to play a big part. Whereas insurance driven practices are more focused on accessibility. They're focused on insurance acceptance, the range of dental services that they provide. So it really helps to kind of show the difference, and again, not just that they're out of network, but that they are able to focus, they're able to use that training that they've done to set themselves apart from an insurance driven practice.
and to tie into that, because the people they're fragile and their psyche's changed, and they actually also social media channel subscribers have doubled since COVID. Um, they need all of these touch points to say, like, this is the doctor we need, the fee for service, because if they want to be fee for service, they have to be out there as the expert. And really, this question drives, a year and a half ago, why we dove into omnipresence, omnichannel, right? It is because we have to have all those touch points, and there's so many, like, what is their fear? What are their barriers? They're on different channels. You have to put out a lot of content to build up a fee for service practice. You can't just wish them into your practice. You really have to become, that expert with the marketing and buyer shift.
Exactly, right? Because as a fee for service practice, you're aiming to attract patients who prioritize in their mind quality personalized care. They're willing to invest in it, they're willing to spend their money. And in order to do that, then you have to be the choice for them, right? Because if they're already doing all that research, they're already willing to spend the money, then they're also going to make sure that they're choosing the right person. So if you're not setting yourself apart, you're not creating that content and being everywhere, then why should they choose you?
Right. Exactly. Totally tied together. Okay, this is a really interesting question here. It says, what mindset shift does the fee-for-service practice need to make to market effectively now?
That is a great question. And it's something that we get asked day to day. So both Shannon and I are on calls and we get this question, like how do we change? How do we be different? And really it boils down to, it is a mindset shift. You have to start viewing patients as customers and really focus on providing value-based care rather than just recommending insurance requirements, right? It starts going into personalized treatment, transparency, and building strong patient relationships, which goes back to having that omnipresent approach. It goes back to a term that's kind of starting to trend right now, which is zero-click marketing.
Tell me about that a little more.
It is basically omnipresence, but zero-click marketing really means that you're focusing on delivering information. You're focusing on engaging users directly on the platform that they're already on. So it could be social media. It could be the search engine results page, right? You basically don't want them to have to click out and go to your website. Rather, you're just providing value to them immediately, but within the context of where they're already spending their time, rather than driving them away to somewhere else.
I love that, and it's just so darn important. All right, Kels, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more golden ticket question for our audience, for our listeners. If you could give a fee-for-service practice one thing to start doing right now, what do you think the low-hanging fruit, the easiest thing that they could start doing?
The easiest thing to start doing is shift from being a treatment provider to being a customer service provider. You're still going to offer treatment. You're still going to provide treatment. But by focusing on the patient's needs and then emphasizing value and elevating the entire patient experience, and that starts well before the patient ever even steps foot into the practice.
Amen.
That would be the number one thing that a fee-for-service practice would do.
I love that, Kelsey. And I think when we're helping the practices that we've helped really go into dropping their insurances and becoming a fee-for-service, in making sure that their new patient experience or their patient experience is just top-notch and they're understanding the quality that they're going to be getting in that practice, they personally need to walk through the patient experience from the phone call to how they're scheduling the appointment to them walking through the front door to, is it a comforts menu? Is it how they're greeted? Like the team really learning how to do that individualized care from the phone to the greeting to the easy paperwork to, in information architecture, they say it's swim lanes. You're like just really breaking down that new patient experience. That is an amazing exercise to do with your team. And how can you make it cooler? How can you make it like just different? Like we were at a practice that we were at, and they really wanted to do this, right? And so we were brainstorming right before a big video shoot, and we created a coffee and tea center for when they were coming in, because there was just none of that offered into their practice. And so I had a little idea, and we got like a gratitude or meditation, like gratitude card. And then also little brown hearts with like a, I am grateful, I am this, like a, I am thing. And it was mixed on the table, and it's like, please take one home. Just small little touches like that. It's not only for the patient, but it's also the shift the mindset of the team to, we are becoming a fee for service, or we are a fee for service. So what small little touch points or touches can we add within that experience that is different than down the road?
Exactly, right? You're going beyond just providing services. You're actually starting to now understand, you're starting to address the individual needs and the goals of your patient.
Exactly. Love that. I hope this was helpful for everybody. So now that we've got this strategy, let's make sure we're saying the right things and doing the right things, okay? So if you want more help on that, the next video you can click on here is Mel and Dominique. They're going to help you break down ditching the basic dental phrases that everybody use. It does not set you apart. It does not help in any sort of way. They'll give you some tips and tricks, probably embarrass you because you use some of them. Just kidding. Because we really need to sound differently and be differently and kind of embody this new fee for service so we can attract the right kind of patients. And that's what they're going to be talking about. Click the little thumbnail that is popping up and enjoy that video.
And hey, if you're thinking, this is exactly what I'm dealing with, drop it in the comments below. Let us know what is your biggest fee for service marketing challenge that you have right now. We read every single one, and your question might just inspire our next video.